Welcome to part two. Thank you to those who joined Porky's International this week for subscribing. Thank you very much. That's our other channel. Welcome back, Jerry. How are you doing?
All right, Ross.
Yeah. Beefy Smith says he's not finished. What do you reckon?
I wish he was finished. uh, I don't see him having much more to do after his next fight with Josh Kelly. Um, don't see him winning that fight personally. Probably see him getting knocked out. Um, yeah, what's he got the fight on for? He's already loaded, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, that one?
Yeah.
Have you got Kelly or Smith?
Oh, Kelly, mate.
Yeah, Kelly's fresher, isn't he? Smith
Definitely.
looks ghost to me. Absolutely ghost.
Think Kelly is the younger, more energetic, probably got better fitness behind him. He's got all the advantages, mate,
Yeah.
of Smith, who's obviously taken quite a bit of punishment as well, been in some tough fights.
Yeah, he has. Jumping back to Big Meech, Anthony Joshua against Dubois. Who have you got in that one, Jerry? Is that a 50-50, do you think?
Um, I've got Big Meech by knockout. Um, it's maybe for me, um, not that I'm right or anything, but for me, I see it as maybe a 60 or 55-45 for Big Meech. And the only reason why I'm saying that is based on experience. Um, Dubois has had two good wins recently, but you know, there's a lot to be said about experience. And I know Dubois obviously performed very well, but I can see him going in gung ho, mate, um, and perhaps being a little bit careless. And Josh was being knocked about enough to know, what to do to counter that strategy. So um, it could very easily be Big Meats getting knocked out, but I'm going with Anthony Joshua, just on experience and maybe fitness wise. You see, I both have them quite similar um, level. Like, there's no question about Anthony Joshua being very fit and stuff. He's obviously older, but I don't think there's any issue with that. I think there's it'll come down to experience. But then it is heavyweight, so if Dubois knocked him out, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Well, yeah.
No, no. So you and Andy have Dubois winning that one.
Yeah, I've got Dubois steaming. Well, who's Joshua beat since Usyk stood him on his head? And who's he really done since Vladimir 7+ years ago? Who's he beat since Vladimir? Povetkin and Pula. He lost twice against Usyk. He's beat Franklin, hasn't he? Elenius, who's hilarious. His former sparring partner, so what Otto Wallin. He never lost rounds against him in sparring. That's food and drink. And then he's just beat a guy who's in his second fight, who's had 30 minutes action as a pro. Come on. That isn't
It's,
a resume that gets you jumping up and down saying he's beat roadman killers, is it? Come on.
oh, it's definitely not, and that's a totally valid point. But you know yourself when a fighter has been beaten and like properly beaten twice, particularly twice in a row by one guy. We obviously seen Big Meech having a bit of a breakdown after the second fight. Um, he's the sort of guy who's mentally fragile in certain departments. So you've got to feed him, certain guys to get his confidence back up. And once he gets his confidence back up, he is back in a position where he can fight to a, well, for lack of a better description, at maximum capacity. Whereas it's not really anything to jump and shout about what he's done. You made a good point there, like, but particularly with Ngannou, but he can be looking at that going, Ngannou took Fury the distance, and some people even say, I don't, but some people do even say Ngannou beat Fury. So if Joshua's, got the right people around him and sort of bigging up his confidence using little things like I just mentioned, it puts him in the right frame of mind. And then that means when he goes in there, unless something crazy happens in the first round, it means he's kind of got a bit of faith in his own ability. And that certainly seems to be the case now, where he, he's back to the way he was pre-Usyk, he's got a little bit more confidence about him, and he's rebuilt his mental strength to whatever degree. I mean, you could say the same as well about Dubois in that capacity too. So, although his two fights were obviously a lot more dramatic and a lot more absorbing, so he probably feels like Mr. Invincible now after that sort of slugfest with Miller, and then the amount of shots he had from Hrgovic, but still was standing, and then ended up going on to get the TKO. I mean, that's obviously going to totally rebuild his confidence after that loss to Joe Joyce, and obviously he had a bit of a ropey decision. I can't remember that guy's name. South African guy, was it? He looked terrible against him. So Dubois was in the same boat where he needed to rebuild, and it's going to be basically a match of when those two guys meet, who's been rebuilt better after defeats, and who's going to have faith in their abilities, I think.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? But Dubois looking good under Don Charles, isn't he?
Yeah, he's needed to. I think Don Charles, look at all his relationship he's had with Derek Chisora. Mind you, Derek Chisora probably isn't directed as much as, say, Dubois would be directed by Don Charles, because Dubois is kind of like that. This is the only way I can really describe it. He's almost childlike. So someone like Don Charles comes in, gets him to be more aggressive, toughens him up, has that sort of fatherly connection just, by being the older man with more experience and stuff. That's kind of perfect for a Dubois type character. Do you know what I mean? Where somebody like Beat Meach is, he's got that sort of ego that needs to be massaged and needs a trainer that can sort of put him in the right sort of, mindset. So Don Charles, to answer your question, seems to be a really good fit for Daniel Dubois. And well, look at his last two results.
Yeah, well, he's flying now, isn't he, Dubois, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential there, Russ. There is a lot of potential.
Yeah. Well, there is with Big Meach, isn't it, really? Because they've got boxer-sized Ben on the job, aren't they? AKA Johnny on the spot. He says all right things, does all right things, nodding dog and all that, innit? And, do you think that he's going to go places with him, or do you think they're just masking over cracks after Usyk destroyed him twice?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think it's going to come down to this next fight, because Dubois is obviously more meaningful than the last 3-4 opponents that Joshua's had. So it's going to come down to this one, mate. I think. Obviously, Big Meach needs to win, I think. Otherwise, he can kiss any chance of fighting Fury goodbye, I think.
Yeah.
However, if he loses, and then say Fury loses to Usyk, it still could be made then, I think. That's if Usyk and Fury 2 happens.
I'd be surprised if that happened next, would you?
Yes. I'm not confident. I'm not confident in that happening. A lot of people think I'm crazy talking like that, but
There's a lot of lolly on table, though, isn't there? Don't forget, isn't there?
well, you could
Fury's
do
not
a
going to want to get to promised land and leave lolly on table, are they? Now that they've had a beating, they'll say, "Well, what's another beating? We're going to get lolly."
yeah, you could do a Sonny Liston and Ali Liston too. You could just turn up and take it beaten for a couple of rounds and jump on the canvas, or whatever. I get what you're saying. Is he that greedy? Probably. Who knows, man? Who knows? But I don't think it happens.
Yeah,
But
the greedy aren't. Look at
um,
Joshua, how greedy Joshua is. Look at Joshua's handlers, Eddie Hills, and the people around Joshua. Who has he beat really in his career that we can say, wow? Throw some names at me so I can say, wow. Go on.
I know where this is going, so it's not really fair. So what?
Throw me a
Klitschko,
wow name at Joshua. Who Joshua beat. Throw one at me, a wow.
Klitschko's the only one, in my opinion, and
Klitschko.
he was
Right.
obviously old at that
Klitschko in
point.
his 42nd year, 18-month on settee. Right. Klitschko, right. In his last ever fight, which was what, 69th?
Yeah,
Right. There
69.
you go. That's his best win of life and death. Had to get off canvas to see him off. Who's his next big elite, massive, massive win?
Um,
Andy Ruiz.
I don't know, mate.
Andy
Then
Ruiz.
you're picking through garbage. Like you could say, coming back after losing to Ruiz.
All right, then Andy
Um,
Ruiz, right? He's just drawn with Butterbean, hasn't he?
yeah, yeah, didn't agree with that decision, but yeah,
He's just drawn with big Jarrell Butterbean Miller, hasn't he?
he sure has, mate. Yes,
What it Miller? It was Miller, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At the weekend.
Yeah, there you go. So that's Andy Ruiz. So who else? Parker, do me a favour. Where are these other killers he's beaten? Povetkin. Come on. You know?
Uh, Out of those names, obviously Povetkin's obviously a lot better. Like,
Yeah, but he was an old man, wasn't he, by the time Joshua got hold of him, wasn't he?
true, but you know, Povetkin against White was even more embarrassing. Like, particularly in the second fight, because obviously Povetkin didn't
Dylan
even look
White
like what
did
he
get him
was.
second time, didn't he? And I know Joshua fought a better version of him, but
Yeah, yeah,
Joshua's TV's pony, isn't it, mate? Absolute pony macaroni. In
yeah.
fact, it's that bad, it's pony Kelly Maloney.
The thing is, though, who who um who in the heavyweight division? Who? Well, put it this way: do you think Fury's CV is better? I don't.
Who's Fury beat? He's beat Klitschko, Steve Cunningham a cruiserweight, and what Wilder twice. There you go. Who else has any decent? Who was decent on his record? Chisora and White. They're on a good day, Euro men, aren't they? On a good
Yeah,
day, Euro level.
yeah. You're right. You're right. The way I look at it, though, would be, I guess Joshua's faced more top 10 opposition, which he definitely has.
Well, yeah, he's
Whether they're
baseball
good.
top 10, but what's he got? 5 wins of a champions. Fury's got 4. They're hardly tearing up the division, are they?
No, no, they definitely aren't. They're not the caliber of what we would have seen in the past.
They've given us a big glossy brochure, and when you open it, it's a load of shit. You
Yeah,
get there, the toilet don't work, and mattress is all wet, and
it's a
it's cold water, and you want to kill somebody. We sold it as Michelin starred, 7-star. We're Butler.
Beautiful analogy there, mate. Couldn't have put it
Well, that's
better.
what we've been sold. We've sold a load of shit.
I agree. I
We've
agree.
sold a load of shine now, haven't we, really?
Yeah,
Well, we've just seen it, haven't we, what Usyk's done to a pair of them? Turned them both on their heads, as well as Chisora, Dubois, and Bellew, for good measure, and it was and done Joshua twice, and done Joyce without the headgear in that 5-round jobber, didn't he?
it was hilarious. Yeah, it was a good fight.
So Usyk's ripped through all bricks, hasn't he, really?
Yeah.
So he's Usyk, the daddy.
That goes without saying, mate. Of course he is. Of course he is.
Are you doubting him at heavyweight, Jerry?
I know. I didn't doubt him, but everybody else did.
Jerry, you're not doubting my man Usyk at heavyweight, are you?
No, man, I've never doubted Usyk. I've always thought the guy was something else. Um, you know, what he's done is unbelievable.
Well,
He's a
Peter
whole
Fury used to say to me when we spoke about Usyk, well, he didn't speak, he just used to do this impression of an owl and just say he's a serious fighter. And that was donkeys years ago. Do you know what I mean? Donkeys years ago, before any fans, proper, any normal boxing fans knew who Usyk were. Donkeys years ago, you see the proper serious fighter in. Because everybody knew what he did to Vladimir in Alps,
yeah.
smashed him to bits.
That says it all, doesn't it? Peter
Smashed
Fury's
him to
reaction.
bits. It smashed Vladimir to bits in sparring.
Is this the Johnny Nelson
Johnny
story?
Nelson, Johnny Nelson were there. Bean, in Alps, this is smashed Vladimir to pieces. They were like, "Wow, who is this guy?" Smashed him up. Put hands on him then. They're like, "Oh, I have to keep an eye out for this guy." Alexander Usyk, remember the name? And look what he's done to all them Brits. And every time he sees Tony Bellew in his company, he's just like got his tongue out, hasn't he?
I know it's disgusting, mate.
Well,
It's
he'd have to big
disgusting.
him up even more, doesn't it? He'd have to big him up even more, wouldn't he? He doesn't do that with Nathan Cleverly when he beat him. Because to
He
beat
had
the
to go.
great Tony, he'd have to be good. But no, to be fair, Tony Bellew's got a world class left hook, hasn't he? And he's been around the block, but he was out his depth, wasn't he?
Can't stand Bellew, but I actually think he give it a good go in the Usyk fight. But I mean, it all ended like some kind of maestro conducting the orchestra. Just he just put the pressure on, wore him out, and finished him
You
and
know what
flattened him.
wears him out? All that feinting he does and that, because he does that much of it, you don't know what angle he's coming from. And your mind can't settle, can it? You're on edge, aren't you? That's
Yeah.
how he mentally tires them, because they're all saying, how come they're getting tired after 8 rounds when they were training for 20? Every one of them does it. It's because he's mentally fatiguing them, isn't he?
So exactly. That's why anyone who comes off with the whole Fury didn't do this, Fury didn't do that, and they neglect
Doesn't
that
allow you to, does he?
Fury Usyk does not. He makes you afraid. He makes you afraid of what he's doing is going to somehow have negative consequences on you. So you don't try these things, and that's all part of Usyk might be sort of relying on kind of smoke and mirrors there, but point is it works because he he uh, dissuades his opponent from hitting him, and then he's able to score and capitalize off that. And then, as you just said, it wears them out because they're like they can't sort of be that switched on and that focused the whole 12 rounds. No one can, and then they're just drained, and then they're just punching bags in the end. And the pattern that Usyk fights at, he ramps it up. It's like he's slowly putting his foot down on the accelerator, you know, gradually, and then towards the end, normally he's murdering them. Like, you know what I mean? That's certainly the pattern that I've noticed in a lot of his fights. Like he really puts the foot on the gas, in the last 4 rounds. It's
Yeah, he's a
incredible.
fantastic fighter, isn't he, Usyk, isn't he? Fantastic.
Lucky to see him, mate. We're lucky to see him.
Yeah, do you think he'll fight Joshua again, Jerry?
No, I wouldn't.
No?
I wouldn't. No, I don't know whether I was reading, I was Eddie Hill's talking some shite about that. Um, why would Usyk fight Anthony Joshua again? I wouldn't personally if I was Usyk.
Well, yeah.
I heard if the Fury fight doesn't happen, he's contemplating going down to cruiserweight and cleaning up there. I believe it was one of his management said something like that. Whether that's just crazy talk, I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think to Usyk's team? Do you think they've handled him correctly?
You could only say yes. It's been through all that shit that Fury's team and Fury, all those roadblocks, all those obstacles, the whole 70-30, you know, Usyk agreed to that. Like, they played the right game 100%. And what I think is good now, if the say for talk's sake the rematch goes ahead, is they're in now a stronger position now to kind of call some of the shots. What was it the manager said about the judge who gave it to Fury? We'll correct that in the rematch, and I like that. Meaning, we'll make sure we have fair, uncorrupt judges. Do you know what I mean? Because that was obviously, where did that judge get that from? Like, so yeah, credit to Usyk's team. I think they've done a fantastic job. They waded through all that crap that was coming their way from, Fury's team, and they came out on top. Can't do better than that.
Yeah. You could say that they've done well for him, haven't they? Well, he's unbeaten, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
They've been on road, Jerry, haven't they? All the way, haven't they?
Yeah, totally overlooked. Totally overlooked. The guys had, what was it, so many fights in other people's back gardens. If the guy can do that without a hometown advantage, what the hell is he going to be like if he was fighting behind his, um, you know, home crowd? Then, you know what I mean? If he's got that extra advantage, but he's that sort of strength though. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that.
Yeah. Yeah. Usyk could walk away from it all, though, Jerry, really, if he wanted to, couldn't
I think he could, mate. I think he could. No one's done what he's done in that short of space of time. So he's a legend. Like, and I don't know who could try and argue against that. What was I seeing some shit coming from Colin Hart the other week, saying about he's good. He's good, like in his generation, but some of the old guys, in the 70s, Ali, Foreman, blah blah blah, um, would totally run over him, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, and I love the older guys, the legends. Big Larry Holmes fan. I think Usyk. I've never seen anyone like Usyk before. Do you know what I mean?
he? Yeah.
Do you think he survives in some of the eras that have gone by, mate?
Yeah, I think he could hold his own in 80s with that lot.
I
With
agree.
Holyfield and Matthew said Mohammed, all them lot. I think he could have held his own way. Mike Tyson, Holyfield. at heavyweight. Riddick, Bowe, Lennox, all them. I think you could put him in that era. Ali with Clay and all that when he was Clay, Liston, yeah, any of them. Patterson, all that lot. Yeah, I think he's that good.
I think there's a lot to be said with, some of that stuff we've seen him doing in training. It's just I've never seen anything like it before. He's almost like a magician, mate. And I that's why it makes it really interesting. How would somebody with those kind of training regimes, imagine he was against Ali, same height, similar weight. If that would be incredible. Prime Ali and Prime Usyk, it would be incredible, mate. Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
What a fight.
Ali against Usyk. It's 1967, Ali 66, 67 against Usyk from 2020. Imagine that.
Yeah. Think about that. It's a bit mind blowing.
That'd be mind blowing, wouldn't it?
It would be.
And this is what we get robbed of, don't we? Them sort of fights, the Ali Frasers. We get robbed of them. They get built up and then they go different directions, don't we? And look at
Yeah.
Fury Joshua now. They've got begging balls out for it now, haven't they? Because it's just it's going to become meaningless soon. And what's it going to be? A copper box job?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. It's
Yeah.
that thing you said. It's
Well,
that thing you said.
it's getting further away, isn't it? And further away.
Yeah, we're lucky we even got undisputed. I think we were lucky.
You know what I mean? Did you know all that undisputed? They're splitting it up, aren't they already? Aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's a shame. But at the end of the day, we know who undisputed is.
Yeah. What do you think to Bricktop back on his perch? Do you think he's well deserved?
He's played a blinder, I have to say. I don't think. I'm sure Eddie Hearn's a bit pissed off. He's still making money. They're doing business together. They're pretending to be friends, whatever. But I would say Bricktop coming back from where he was, about 6 years ago. It's been hats off for fair play, Bricktop. You've worked your way back, and now you're sitting there smug, counting your money and rubbing your hands. I guess you could say perhaps it's going to be coming to the end of the road with him and Fury. But he's still got the likes of Moses Atama, who they're are getting ready to let loose, I guess. So he's done good, mate. He's done good, and he's got a lot of those other names attached to him. So plenty of fights that that guy Turkey El Sheikh's gonna wanna make fights with, and that means Big Frank gets to make some more dough. He's done good, mate. He's done good.
Big Bricktop done a right role, isn't he? Really, when you think about it, isn't he?
It's kind of it's like you were saying during the week. Um, you know, he survives a nuclear bomb. Yeah, he keeps turning up again, mate, and coming back. I do think at some point though he'll probably bow out. I wish Bob Arum would, because he's kind of annoying. But yeah, maybe Frank should start thinking about it. Maybe in a few years' time, think about handing it over. Let one of the sons take care of it before he has a heart attack or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think Bob Arnold's the go till he's 100. He's 90 odd now, isn't he, Bob?
I know, but you said to me before, Bob Arum waits till like the end of two legends' careers before he puts them together, and fans don't want to see that. We want to see fighters fight in their prime. So he frustrates the life out of me, Bob Arum.
Frustrates me, mate, because all he's done for years is stop fights happening, that old codger.
Yeah, that's why get someone. I mean, who's America got at the minute anyway?
They've got nobody, have they now, Young?
So I guess if Bob Arum was to step down, you've got De La Hoya, but I mean, really, is that it? Lou DiBella stopped, hasn't he? He's retired, I think. Is he still
Yeah, he's had
promoting?
his tap stopped, hasn't he, by Eamon. He fell out with Eamon, didn't he?
Yeah,
So he's been blackballed, hasn't he, Lou DiBella? I like Lou DiBella as well.
he's all right. Yeah,
Bang on, Lou DiBella. He's one at boys. But boxing's in a funny state over there as well now. Honestly.
yeah,
It's a bit, well, it isn't UK, isn't it? We all know, but nobody's speaking out though, are they? But it is. It's in disarray, small hall scene.
yeah. Definitely a small hall scene, mate. Neglected.
Small hall scene at UK's utter joke at the moment. Absolute joke, Jerry.
It's very sad, mate.
Yeah. We'll finish off on this then. Crusher Ben, we've still not heard no, Jerry.
Ah, why do we even have to talk about him? He's just
25 months since the first failure. And 23 months since the second, and we've heard zero explanation. What is going on? Are they serving silent UK bands? Yes or no? Him and White, are they yes or no?
Yes, they have to be. I just think Ben, not that I thought he was going to go on to achieve anything great, but I think Ben has flushed a large part of his career down the toilet during prime years. And that's because he was too stubborn to admit wrongdoing. And it takes a bigger man to admit doing something wrong. And if he had admitted to doing something wrong, he could have taken 6 months, rebuilt, come back, and had some meaningful fights. But he's his head's up his arse, so he's he's either been advised or he's been too stubborn himself. Either way, he's chosen the wrong path. Is he serving a silent ban? I suspect so. Very quiet these days. Not seen much of him.
Oh, he is very quiet at the moment, isn't he, Crusher?
Very quiet, mate. Very quiet.
But I don't give a shit. He's cheated, and that's it. So do your rip, you prick. All right then, Jerry. Thanks for coming on. You've been a superstar.
No worries, mate. Thank you for having me on.
Okay, mate. Cheers, pal.
Take it easy, mate. Bye bye.
Right. For those of you that like other sports, we've got another channel, Porky's International. Feel free to like and subscribe and leave a comment. One, peace out.